The claim that may be generating the most controversy is when the president spoke about the investigation into the IRS, investigation ongoing, into the IRS targeting of conservative political groups.
You're saying no corruption?
No.
None?
No. There were some boneheaded decisions out of a
but no
local
mass
office.
corruption?
Not even mass corruption, not even a smidgen of corruption.
Okay.
Really? Well, there you have the verdict before the trial is over. The question today, how is the president able to say that when the investigation is still ongoing? We have got team coverage of these questions with Britt Hume, Ed Henry, Chris Steyerwalt, and James Carville, all with us tonight. But today we saw a fierce reaction from one lawmaker to that last claim about the IRS as he pressed a top official with the Justice Department on how President Obama was able to make that claim.
How can the President of the United States go on TV on Super Bowl Sunday and say that there's not a smidgen of corruption in this investigation, not a smidgen of corruption in the IRS with how they targeted conservative groups? How can he be so sure when it's an ongoing investigation?
Congressman, I think you should probably address that question to the White House.
He didn't say, I don't think there is, there probably isn't, nothing seems to point that way. He said there's not a smidgen of corruption. He was emphatic, he was dogmatic, he knew for certain. And no one's briefed him? The president could be a potential target in this investigation. And yet the person in the investigation gave $6,000 to his campaign?
She is not heading up the team, Congressman.
It's not what the witnesses we've talked to, Mr. Cole, said she asked all the questions when they've been interviewed. All I know is the president said there's not a smidgen of corruption. The president's already reached a decision.
Ohio Republican Jim Jordan is on the House Oversight Committee and the House Judiciary Committee, and he is the man you heard there questioning the Deputy Attorney General, James Cole. Sir, it's good to see you again tonight. And so,
good to be with you.
Let's start with that. The president goes on national television on Super Bowl Sunday, never more eyeballs on the television, and tells our own Bill O'Reilly that there is not a smidgen of evidence of corruption, and you were trying to get to the bottom of what in your questioning?
Well, I mean, Megyn, let's remember the basics. You got Barbara Bosselman, who's a max-out contributor to the president's campaign. There are 10,000 lawyers in the Justice Department, and she gets picked somehow, some process where she gets picked to head up the investigation. So I believe the president can be confident because he knows his person's running the show. His person's running the investigation. We can't get one answer from the FBI, one answer from the Justice Department about how many people are assigned to this case, who the lead agent is, how they're doing it. But the president's confident, even though it's an ongoing investigation.
So you have been pressing them for information, trying to get facts about the investigation. And what have they been telling you at Justice?
They keep telling me it's an ongoing investigation. In the last 5 days, I've received two letters from Mr. Cole, the guy I was questioning today in committee. 2 letters. 7 different times in those 2 letters, he tells me it's an ongoing investigation, and that's why Barbara Bosselman can't come and testify in front of our committee.
So they can't comment to you on it because it's an ongoing investigation.
Yeah, but somehow the president is confident there's not a smidgen of corruption that took place here. And, as we heard 2 weeks ago, leaked to the Wall Street Journal, there is no recommendations for prosecution. They don't think they're going to recommend any prosecutions from leaks coming from the Justice Department. How does that reassure the American people that this is a real, genuine, true, credible investigation?
And what is the effect of the chief of our president coming out there and basically announcing the verdict before it has officially been reached by the jury, at least as far as they're telling you? Justice is saying they haven't yet concluded whether there should be criminal charges brought, and the President of the United States is saying it's done.
Yeah. I mean, is he sending a signal to Ms. Bosselman, hey, here's what I want to have happen? Remember, Barbara Bosselman is a max-out $6,750 she gave to the Obama campaign and the Democrat National Committee over the last few years. So she has a financial interest in a specific outcome. She has a financial stake in the success of the president. So, and yet she's heading the investigation. So of course the president's confident. Of course he can say there's no corruption because the fix is in. The person who's heading the investigation gave him a maxed out contribution, gave him a bunch of money. I think maybe he sent her a signal Sunday, not just the whole world when he talked to Mr. O'Reilly, but I think he sent her a signal saying, hey, here's what we need to have happen. No problem here.
He was asked, Jay Carney was asked whether he misspoke in that interview, and Jay Carney said absolutely not. He did not misspeak, so we will see where this goes and what Ms. Bosselman's final recommendation is. Congressman, good to see you.
Thank you, Megyn.
And then there was